Welcome to the Mike on Much podcast. I am Mike Veerman, and I am here with my friend and producer, Max Kerman. Max, how's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had a good little summer run, you know?
It's been great.
Lauren, listeners might know her as my girlfriend, Lauren. She is off school for a couple weeks.
Okay.
She's a very hard worker.
Yeah, grade 10? Just kidding.
No, she's doing her MBA, for those asking. And so she's been in a great mood and has been helping out around my house because she comes over a lot and I live with some roommates and the place is usually not in very good shape. So she's been like gardening and just kind of whipping my ass into gear, which has been very helpful. Anyway, so she's had a good time going out and seeing friends, catching up with people who she doesn't get to see as often as she'd like. So she went to a party the other weekend, had a great time, was up super late. And the next day she said, oh, hey, I was talking, remember Laurel, my friend Laurel? I was like, I remember Laurel. She's awesome. She's like, so Laurel needs some help. And I thought you might be able to like give her a hand. I was like, okay, well, yeah, of course. What's up? And she said, Laurel wants to get into graphic design, but is like a little bit shy. And, you know, she could use some help networking. You know, Laurel's like,
and who's better at networking than Max Kerman?
yeah, I was like, oh, that's, you know, I like connecting people with people. And, you know, I've gotten to know a lot of different kinds of, you know, artsy types like through the band world. So I said, no problem. Let me shoot Laurel a message because I know people who make websites and people who, you know, work in Much Music, colleagues of yours. I said, maybe they could go for coffee or something like that. So I message Laurel and I say, Laurel, how can I be of your help out? How can I, you know, I've been called a mensch before. And do you know what a mensch means, by the way?
It's a Jewish word for somebody that's just really great, an all-around great person.
Yeah, who's like a helpful guy.
Yeah.
When before, I didn't know what that word meant, and I thought it was derogatory. I was like, who are you calling a mensch? Did I tell you that in like my nickname up until grade 3 was Maxi Pad?
Get out.
Yeah, and I didn't, and I thought Maxi Pad was a good thing. Well,
So-
not that it's a bad thing.
So you have
It is a good thing, I guess.
I don't know if it's good as a nickname.
Yeah, I just thought it was like a cool name. And
Yeah.
then I realized in grade 3, I didn't realize what it was, but I just realized that it's something that I shouldn't have as a nickname.
You have issues comprehending nicknames. You think mensch is terrible and that Maxi Pad is cool.
Yes, exactly.
Hey guys, here comes the Maxi Pad.
Yeah, but don't call me a mensch. So I messaged Laurel and I said, Laurel, what's up? And she goes, I'll read you the message. So Laurel goes, hey, that's so nice of you. My dad's an amazing artist. I'm thinking, my dad? What does that stuff do with anything? He's been working on really interesting abstract paintings. I wanted to help him network and potentially get his stuff into galleries. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Nothing about graphic design.
Nothing about graphic design. She's only talking about her dad. And by the way, it's like the sweetest note ever. Like,
Of course.
can you imagine, like, this, like just a proud daughter, you know? Seriously.
Trying to help her dad with his
Trying to
art
help
career.
her dad. It's like, how nice is that? Like, if any of my friends told me they were doing this for their folks, I'd be like, that's the sweetest thing you could ever do.
Right.
So anyway, she's like, do you know anybody? And I'm like, I don't know anybody in the abstract world. We've been making jokes about visual artists on this podcast for years. So I see Lauren later that day. I'm like, Lauren, what the hell is this? Like, I could be of help to your friend, but I don't know anything about abstract art.
Or 60-year-old men.
And what's this about? And she goes, oh no. I was like, what? She's like, I was talking to my friend Mark Mayhew. He wants to do graphic design.
Oh, God.
And he's really confident and has no problem networking. And Laurel's, her dad, I drunkenly got the stories like mixed up. So anyway, I don't know what to do.
So now you're stuck helping this guy with his abstract art.
With his abstract art, and Mark Mayhew's doing just fine.
He's doing great.
He's probably landed a job already.
Yeah.
But I don't want to let Laurel down because she's so nice. Like, Laurel's nice. I'm assuming her dad's really nice too. So
What if you see his art and it's terrible?
well, I won't know. It's abstract art. I guess if you're listening out there and you have any connections in the
art world?
in the abstract art world,
Right.
drop me a line.
Now you're using this podcast to help out your girlfriend's friend's 60-year-old abstract artist father.
Yes.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
All right, Max. On today's show, we have Echosmith.
Family band from LA.
Yeah.
And this is another interview I couldn't be at.
This was actually the first interview that I had to like go with my little tape recorder by myself. They were playing the Mod Club. I know there were some other people doing interviews, so I kind of had to like wait in line, meet with the label person. I roll in. There's like people are sound checking drums. It's kind of chaos. It's like, oh, where do you want to hang out? And I'm like, I'm thinking we might get a room. But they're like, oh, just do it right here in sort of like the main area of the mod club where people would like dance.
Mike's being a little too polite, listeners. Mike texted me. He said there's a few other interviews. Our friend, Liz Trinnear, who's a proper VJ on Much Music, she's here to interview Sydney, who is the singer, the sister in the band.
Yep, the lead singer, Sydney.
Yeah. And I said, Mike, I want you to kill Liz Trinnear's interview. He said, I love Liz. I said, listen, I love Liz too. But we're the real show on this block.
He's great at inspirational pep talks, by the way. That's his forte. But Liz was interviewing Sydney up on the second floor. And then I was interviewing Jamie and Noah, the brothers who play guitar and bass, in the main room. But I go in and I don't know when they're going to be available. I'm kind of like meandering there. I got my laptop with my questions. I kind of have to wait around. I'm getting more and more uncomfortable. And I can hear Liz doing her interview like on the second floor. And it's like, she's really good. She's got all her questions. She's projecting her voice. She's like, hey, girl. They're like best friends. They're like, I can see them hugging and shit. So I'm just like.
And the other weird thing is like, do you feel weird that you're like a grown man and they're like.
And they're kids?
Yeah.
Well, I want to do a good yes, I do. That's to answer your question, yes. No, you know how it is. It's just like, and once there's like label people there and you want it to lead to more interviews. And honestly, they're a really sort of interesting story. They're a family band from California.
Your dad's sort of the manager, helps write the songs.
They talk about all that, we prepped those questions and they were really candid. And honestly, I thought Jamie and Noah were very sort of forthcoming and thoughtful in the talk.
My question though here is, and we should get him back on the pod, so much of music is about relationships and like very intimate things. And they sort of are from that school of like singer-songwriter, 1970s, like folk rock. That's sort of where they come from. And like, what are they going to write about? Like, what's Sydney going to...
Like, what's their experience is what you're saying?
Because you're playing these songs that your sister's singing and it could be about some like really up, like relationship or something. And her like younger brother is like, 17 years old behind the kit. He's like, what do those words mean?
I don't think you're giving 17-year-olds enough credit. What is love? What is heartbreak?
Yeah, and I think the thing that I took from listening back to the interview is that there are a couple of like teenagers, right? And they're answering questions like adults that have been like, doing it for a long time.
Sure, like these 20-year veterans.
Yeah, and sort of like the maturity. I just kind of like think back to what were you doing when you were 17, Mike?
Oh, I was like hammered at a park in Hamilton.
Yeah.
but I was playing guitar.
You do have that in common.
So I have something in common with those kids.
I wonder what their cover of Don't Look Back in Anger sounds like.
Probably better because they'll practice it nonstop. Those kids, they do work hard.
Yeah.
Is it condescending to call them kids?
No, it's not. No, because they're kids.
I think they're like 21, 19.
Well, no, they're kids.
Okay.
No, they're totally kids. And they sing about cool kids.
That's true. All right, let's get to Echosmith. When major labels start working with teenagers, people sort of assume it's very, pop-centric or a produced act. But Echosmith feels like a more traditional rock act to me. Can you talk a bit about how the band came about and sort of just your family dynamic, start at the start?
Yeah, well, at the beginning, we were a band, a live band. We weren't something that was like, you guys should record this. Like, we were just, the first thing we ever did together was play a show. We weren't just like, we didn't even really write any songs before that. We just like played like The Cure and Rihanna and Rage Against the Machine and went and played a benefit concert. And that was how it started. And that was like 7 or 8 years ago now. It's hard to remember.
But to even get to the point to play cover songs and be a cohesive band, I mean, did you pick up a guitar first, Jamie? Like, how did you guys, were you naturally inclined to play music? How did you play together? Who was the first one to say, I'm going to start making music?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, we grew up in a musical family.
Yeah.
So, like, our dad was a musician, our mom was a visual artist and painter. So there was just, like, instruments and art all over the house. And, yeah, I mean, there was guitars, there was basses, drums, kind of all over. So I don't know, I guess maybe I was technically the first one to grab a guitar. But everyone kind of just gravitated towards their instruments naturally. Like, we had been playing years before we ever played together. Like, Noah just decided he wanted to play bass. Graham wanted to play drums, and it wasn't because we needed a drum or anything, because he had been playing years before. They're almost like toys to us when we were really young, and they were just all over, so we didn't really know any better or any different or anything, so we just like played instruments. So yeah, we just kind of grew up around it.
How did you choose what songs to cover? Was it stuff you'd been listening to? Was it stuff your parents were into?
I think it was a variety of things. I mean, that first show, I can remember the three. We played Love Song by The Cure.
Did you open with that?
No, the one we opened up with was Rage Against the Machine.
That was it.
Like Killing in the Name. And it's funny, Cindy wasn't even up on stage. Like we started the show, and like me and Noah just went out by ourselves.
Oh.
And we just played it, just like guitar and bass.
The whole
just played
song.
that whole song instrumental. And so it was one of those things where it's like that song was just, when we were like in junior high, like really into guitar music, and like everyone learns Rage Against the Machine songs. Like that was why we chose that song. And with like Rihanna, like Umbrella was really big at the time.
Yeah.
And then like for The Cure, like our mom was really into The Cure. So like growing up, we had always known their music too.
So you guys start playing cover songs, and then eventually you start sort of writing music, sort of getting to a point where you're like, we want to, be a band that does original songs, and then move towards taking this to the next level. How did getting a label and getting to that next point, how did that manifest itself?
We'd always been kind of writing really from the start, like we always, because our dad being a writer, we always kind of grew up writing songs too. So
is your dad? So does he write with you guys and he manages as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's definitely part, like, because he's a writer too. So the songs always usually start with the four of us, and then he'll kind of be like an extra. You're like, hey, just because we really value his opinion, has experience, just to get an outside ear with it. And yeah, we'd always been kind of writing really from the start, like, we always, because our dad being a writer, we always kind of grew up writing songs too. So we would do covers, but we'd be writing songs too, and yeah, it wasn't, we would play more covers like in our sets because we didn't have enough original songs a lot of times, and eventually, like with the label and everything too, like we had already been writing a whole bunch of songs. And
so the label was already interested in you guys. They're aware of you guys, or like you guys talented. I guess I'm asking for people that are listening. They want to maybe emulate that sort of step. What's the step there? Is it just
right? Well, that was probably 3 years ago that we actually, I think it was just about 3 years ago that we got signed, and we had been a band.
Did you have to go through the whole like
before that?
People coming into your gigs, or like going into rooms and playing for people, or was
the funny thing was, at least with this, because before then we had done like lots of showcases for different labels, and like been flown out to New York to go visit whoever.
Yeah.
And then Warner just kind of literally happened. I think Michael Ozani was an A&R at the record label. He was sent the music, and it took him a while to listen to it. And then like he finally listened to it, and he's like, "This is great. Come into my studio." And I think it was a Friday, and then we came in on the Friday. Then on that Monday, we met the CEO because Mike was so excited about meeting us and the music and stuff. So he took us to the CEO that Monday or Tuesday or so. And then we had the deal done in like a week and a half. So it was all everything happened in like 2 weeks.
Did you guys, even though you guys were pretty young relatively when this happened, was there like that elation, like, wow, we're going to another level? Did you guys have a celebration? Were you sort of like, this is exciting, or was it right to work?
Well, no, it was really exciting, because when we got signed, it was like right before everyone was going to go home to Christmas break and everything. So there wasn't like any work that was really, just kind of like we got signed, the office closed, we had vacation, like everyone, it just kind of like ended. And we had a couple weeks off. And then going into the new year, I think you think more, like when you get signed, you imagine that you all of a sudden like start doing things right away. But for us, like for us at least, it wasn't this big like calculated, like here's this batch of songs I think you guys should do. This will make you, superstars, or this will,
right.
Like there wasn't any of this, like some things that we were kind of prepared to sort of fight, I guess. But it was just like, hey, like just write some songs. And, like, so we were just like writing, and we were playing shows, and we were touring, and there wasn't this big, huge like marketing plan.
It wasn't a huge push. They wanted you guys to develop naturally and sort of take your own course.
It was really loose, like surprisingly. Like even looking back, it's like we had a lot of leeway with like what we could do, and it was like and they obviously pushed us like write more songs, right?
Yeah.
Like think about this like mindset, go do this and stuff. Like it was never like forced or anything like do this, you must do this, but it was always like just like keep creating what you're creating and keep going, and that's what worked, and that's how we got cool kids.
And it felt like a cohesive sort of like a good relationship. Were you guys ever at odds, or did you always have the same vision for the band? You know what I mean? The label you guys.
When it came to preparing for the record and the songs and the recording and stuff, it was very cohesive. And of course, there's other things you have to like not fight about, but like go through things with.
Of course.
Things and stuff. It's like there's different things, and sometimes they're right, sometimes we're right, and we have to like find some kind of balance between that. But like when it came to that, yeah, you know, of course anything's gonna have that, but not in a bad way.
Especially creative, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because it's so subjective.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but for us it was like when it came to the record, it was really surprisingly loose.
I just keep doing like what we were doing, and we kept doing that, so it worked out.
I actually used to be in a band that did a ton of touring with my brother and another set of brothers, so I'm pretty in tune with sort of the dynamics of that. One of the things that I always found fascinating is that my brother and I could get in these huge, demonstrative, loud arguments that people would be like, "Oh man, it's falling apart," and then literally 2 seconds later, we're laughing, talking about basketball.
Yeah.
What's the dynamic like, obviously, amongst 4 siblings, and do you guys find that? What are the pros and cons?
Yeah, I think you kind of covered it there. It's like you can argue about stuff, being dumb and siblings and stuff, and then like you can be like, oh, and then you can just be over it. I mean, because I think when you grow up together, it's like you learn how to argue, I guess. You learn how to go through things. You learn how to go through life because you're literally going through like changing and growing up and like parents and family things and stuff like that. So like you literally you're learning your entire life and training with these people, like how to react and how to do these things. So things happen. We, you know, argue sometimes, but like obviously, yeah, you kind of turn around. You know how to get out of it quick. It doesn't last very long ever.
Right.
And it's like, and of course, there's great things with it. There's hard things with it. But in the end, it's like family. There's such a bond there, like chemically, in a relationship, like, we're related. So I think that's what kind of keeps it going, keeps it strong and healthy.
I was thinking about, I think, you know, sometimes drummers in general can feel a little marginalized because they feel like they don't have a say. They're the drummer, you know, other people are doing the writing. Yeah. And then I find younger siblings also have that sort of dynamic. Obviously, your younger brother Graham is also the drummer, so it's kind of a double whammy. Does he get a say in anything at all?
Yeah, he gets a say. I think for him, he's like, and he gets a say, and he knows his thing and stuff. But he's also like very like open creatively and like lots of different kinds of things. And for sure, like when it comes like what he does and the drumming, and even like if he has an idea for a song, he's gonna share it, and it's gonna be something that we have to take in seriously because his voice means something to us.
That's interesting because, I mean, songwriting can be obviously really collaborative, but it can also be very personal. How do you guys find the dynamic? I mean, is it like, do you guys come with music? Is Sydney writing lyrics? Are you all working on lyrics? What does that dynamic look like?
Yeah, well, there's we all do all of it, really. I mean, we could all create music, we could all write songs or make, you know, guitar lines or just chord structures and stuff. So for all of us, it's like we can all do every single part. Graham could write lyrics, I can write lyrics, Jamie can, Sydney can write lyrics. So it's like, and we could all start a song. You can start from Jamie, you can start from York, you can start from Sydney, you can start from anyone. And for us, there's no rules on where a song comes from or what it does, as long as it's something we can all believe in. That's really the only criteria it needs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's do that.
All right,
we're going to pause it and Zoom in the green room so these guys can set up their sound check.
Yeah.
All right. It's a podcast. We can edit this shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of loud, but we'll make it work. All right, we've been booted to the green room. This is like real stuff right now.
It's real life. It's really happening. We're at a sound check.
We were talking a bit about Graham before, and you know, you guys were saying this process started with the label and everything 3 years ago now. You guys are older, 21, 19, I believe. So you guys are out of high school age, but at the time when you were writing music and sort of solidifying yourselves as a working band, I'd imagine you were in high school. Did you guys do homeschooling? Did you actually find time to go to high school?
I graduated before we had actually even got signed. So I guess when we got signed, it was like the year after I graduated, so I didn't have to worry about that.
You were good. You were right into your career, which is being a musician, right?
And you were
in school. Yeah, like a year and a half left, so. Or so. I don't know, it's hard to remember. I was a junior. No, I was a sophomore when we got signed. And then I didn't have to go homeschooling until I was a junior, I think. And then we did homeschooling tour, and then I graduated and stuff, so. Right. I didn't have to worry about it anymore.
How does homeschooling work? Does anyone learn anything? Because like I didn't learn anything in high school. My band played twice a year, so it's like pretty insane to me to think about, you know, you guys having to actually like.
I think if you choose to learn, then you can.
Right.
If you don't, then it's very easy not to learn.
No, did you find it hard to focus knowing you had this band and you were like, this is what I want to do?
At first, and then like eventually, like the last year of like high school, I like got straight A's and like really learned stuff. Because I was like, I think when you get out of school and like actually made me appreciate the stuff I was learning more.
Interesting.
I don't know, so I enjoyed it.
So instead of blowing it off, you dedicated yourself. I actually wanted to.
Yeah, because I could have dropped out. I could have. I was able to. Even when you're 16 in America, you'll let drop out. And but I wanted to finish it and say I did it. I did pretty well, I guess.
Yeah. You guys, you both sing, obviously bass, guitar. Did you guys ever have any aspirations? And like, you know, Jamie, you're saying you picked up a guitar first, maybe to start your own band or do something separate, or was it always going to be a family dynamic? Was it always, we want to do this as siblings, or did you guys sort of have your own ideas of what you wanted to do as a band?
Yeah, we had, I mean, yeah, when we started, we never thought of doing it as siblings. And there were times where me and Noah would play in other bands and do things like that. And yeah, it was never like, oh, well, like, we have to do the family thing. Just kind of, as we kept doing things and like our Echosmith started to kind of happen, we were also working at other things at the time. And then like when you're, you know, kind of doing a whole bunch of bands or a whole bunch of different things, like eventually certain things start to work out better, like even just dynamically with like people. And it just like, you know, with the siblings, it kind of just like kept working more, like the dynamic was working well. And, you know, eventually then we got signed and we were touring and people were coming to shows, and it kind of just like, I guess like, you know, other things kind of get moved out of the way. Like when, you know, when one thing's working, we kind of like, yeah, go with it. And also just like, it always felt really good. So we kind of decided to run with it.
So you had kind of a couple bands going, and then you felt like this one was the one that was working the most. You enjoyed the camaraderie, the dynamic. It all worked better. And then it would just kept kind of progressing in a way that you enjoyed. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it wasn't like we were in like 5 bands at the same time, but like we would be in different bands at
with
different
buddies
points.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just like would more for fun. Even like this band started off for fun too, and like eventually things become serious. And for, you know, for us, like Echosmith started to become serious.
It's always interesting because there's probably somebody back, you know, in your hometown that's like, oh, I was in a band with those guys, and now your band's doing really well. Do you find those friendships lasted? Are they like happy for you? Or are they like, God damn it, they went and made it and left? Yeah, it could have been us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we haven't stayed in touch with everybody we've ever played with, but there's definitely friends of mine who like I have played in bands with before who I'm still really good friends with, and even one of the guys who was on tour with us who does like our in-ears and stuff like that. Like he played drums in one of the bands I was in, and
and you brought him along.
Yeah,
so he's part
like
of the whole team.
Yeah, so actually like there's like relationships like that have stayed, and it's like any friendship, you know, eventually people do, especially out of high school. It's like you lose touch with a lot of people.
Yeah. Noah, did you have anything that you had going on, or?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jamie a lot of the time were in the bands together. It was actually most often me and him. Like, you know, yeah, that band that he was in. I think you were in one band with him before, and then we did another band, and I was in that second band. So yeah, like we all that, and you know, we had musical friends. But most of the people we're still in touch with. They're all like super supportive generally. I mean, if they weren't, then it wouldn't be fun to stay in touch with them. So generally how I like to keep it.
Even though success has come, you know, relatively quick for you guys, did it feel like it took a long time? Because, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, Echosmith, they kind of came out of nowhere. But like you said, 3 years from the point that you guys signed to at this point.
In ways, it felt long and it felt fast all of a sudden. Because we had been a band for 7 years. And so, like, I mean, that's felt long. And then all of a sudden for us, and I think that's probably how things work out usually, it's like in a very short amount of time, things like really happen. Like we had grown like this much as a band, like 7 years, and all of a sudden, like this last year, like things just like kind of skyrocketed, and it's just like timing, and people start to hear the songs and everything. So like, cause our record, and we put out Cool Kids like 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2013, right? In October.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole record came out then, and we put out like a sampler with Cool Kids on it for free. Like, I mean, I think it's like in March or April of 2013.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so it was like literally like just about 2 years that we put out the song for free.
Song's been floating around.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, that's kind of a long time for a song to finally like really
catch fire.
Yeah, but all of a sudden then it like came like, what's this Cool Kid song that no one's ever heard of? And like, well, yeah, no one heard about it for the first year that it was out, and then all of a sudden it kind of just skyrocketed.
I guess I wonder, like, you know, when success happens so young, I mean, and you guys are saying, you know, it took a while and you put the song out and nothing really happened at first and then it did. Is there ever a point in the process where you guys start to sort of doubt things, or you go, oh man, is this working? Or do you just believe in the process and like, I want to do this for my life and I'm going to do this anyway?
I think we don't expect too much from the songs. Like for us, like the first year Cool Kids was out, to us it was doing so much. And which like looking back, it's like it wasn't that much. Like we were playing shows and like people were singing Cool Kids, and that to us was like, whoa, this is working. This is huge and it's amazing. And I think we didn't set the standards to have like, we wrote Cool Kids, and like we wrote Cool Kids, this song's gonna be a, you know, multi-platinum single. It's gonna go do this, and like if it didn't happen, you'd be like, oh, that sucks. So we just like we wrote it and then it ended up working. It was a surprise. We didn't know it would be doing what it did. And then like people were singing at shows like for the whole first year, and like we have some people come to shows. We played like a 120 person sold out show in LA in October, and to us that was like the hugest thing, and it was amazing. And that is amazing. It's really cool that we had that. And then, like, you know, obviously things move on and, like, bigger things happen. Like, whoa, this can happen too. So I think everything is just kind of more of a surprise.
With the album coming out, like you said, or that batch of songs being a couple years old, you guys must be looking really forward to the next record. Are you guys thinking about that?
We're starting to now. Now that this last year, like, we got to kind of, like, have a couple weeks off, like, at the end of the year and kind of, like, rethink, like, okay, like, here comes this next year. Like, what are we doing and how are we going to go about it? And, now it's kind of like, okay, well, I think it's probably time to start, like, actually writing. And we've actually started to, like, think about, okay, we should start doing that because we hadn't done it all last year. So this year, writing will definitely start happening. It's going to be fun to, like, start now seeing how that process goes and how the music's going to sound. And eventually it's going to be fun to get it out to people, too.
You two are the oldest in the band. As far as sort of the interband dynamic, you being the oldest, I mean, do you take on a leadership role, or do you feel like it's a democracy amongst the four of you, or?
I think it's pretty spread out. I mean, it's definitely like the way we do make decisions is a democracy. No one person is leading, and I think there might be some natural, like, leading dynamics that I might have. Just, I mean, you grow up and that's kind of the role you get put on, and I don't know. And then, but Sydney, obviously, like, she's the most talkative out of all of us. That doesn't necessarily mean, like, people think maybe she, like, controls the band because she talks a lot.
Was Sydney naturally like that, or did she grow into that as the lead singer?
She's always been super talkative, and I think all our instruments that we play kind of, like, go a lot with, like, our personalities.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, she's, like, always been really talkative and just perfect for a front woman, you know, singer.
Of course.
So I don't know.
All right, well, man, have fun tonight at the show, and all the best in the future, guys.
Shane, how's it going?
Oh, good.
Double good.
Yes, good.
Shane looks like Hunter Thompson right now, by the way. He has his sunglasses
I
inside.
feel like Hunter S. Thompson right now. I'm sensitive to light.
Since when?
Always.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess you do wear your sunglasses.
You always ask me about it. Like, Shane, why are you always wearing them? To look cool? Or you like... Yeah.
You do look cool, though. You've succeeded.
Yeah, that's 50% of it, but 50% is actually for light eye reasons. The lighter your eyes are, the more sensitive you are to light.
You're sensitive to light and questions about your sunglasses.
Yes, I don't like that.
So, how's your week been? Tell us, what have you been up to? You seen any good movies?
No. Pop culture expert here.
What'd you think of the Ashley Madison thing? That was a big news item.
Yeah, that I kind of found interesting because the guy who founded that, Noel Biederman, I have a little bit of history with him.
What?
Was he married at the time?
No, not like that. I made a documentary when I was very young about my mom's cheating boyfriend. I was in high school.
Young filmmaker.
I'd kind of stake out bars. My mom used to go to this bar called Boomers all the time.
Okay.
And I'd hang outside the bar, and when all the people came out, I would interview all these adults while they were drunk, like people our age now, kind of. I was like, look at that old guy stumbling around. It's hilarious to kind of with him. So I would do, like, basically what you call a streeter segment now, where you just ask people questions. And everyone kind of around the neighborhood knew me as the film guy, the guy who always had a camera. There was rumors circulating that my mother was being cheated on by her boyfriend. My parents are divorced.
Sorry, so there's rumors that your mother...
Yeah, my parents are divorced. My mom had a boyfriend. He was a lawyer, oddly.
Can't trust him.
No, you can't trust him. So there's rumors flying around that he's cheating on her. I tell all my friends, hey, if you see... His name was... which is, yeah, kind of a sneaky guy's... Weasley sneaky guy's name. So... Anyways,
I love that no one will ever know what the name is.
Think of a sneaky weasel name, you'll know the name. But so anyways, one of my best friends at the time, he's like, yo, your mom's boyfriend is here with another woman, and they're like canoodling and kissing and snuggling up in a booth together. You have to get down here and film it. So I don't drive at the time, so I round up a couple of my friends who have cars, and they're like, holy shit, we got to do this. So like 16 people like pop into like a van, and a couple of guys go in like a car, all from high school. And then I film them through the window of a Krabby Joe's. It's like a wing place in Hamilton. And they're luckily kissing and hugging and doing all that stuff. Well, you want to catch him in the act, right? Because I want to prove to my mom that he is in fact cheating. So it's actually a good thing. It would suck if all of a sudden you show up and they're just like not doing anything. But I showed up, they're making out, they're getting close. They're clearly a couple. We wait for to come out with the girl. And
know that you do this, like his girlfriend's kid.
Yeah, but you never think you're going to get caught, right?
Okay, yeah.
You never think you're going to get busted. So then when comes out, I go 1, 2, 3, and 20 guys yell busted, and he's completely blindsided by this. So we get the footage of him, all that shit. We go home, we wake up my mom, and we show her the footage, and she flips out and starts crying, going nuts. Is like, we have to throw out all of his clothing. I filmed all of it. We pissed on his stuff. Like we were very young. You know, we peed on it. We drove his Jaguar around and like spray painted the loser. We spray painted on the sidewalk or whatever outside of my house. Oddly, and
Did he live with you?
he lived with us.
Right.
All my friends had like the greatest time. Like we took his like guitar and all this shit, and it was pretty crazy. It's crazier the more time goes by and you actually think of what you did.
This
Nowadays,
is insane. This whole story is
I would
insane.
be scared shitless to do that nowadays. But anyways, it's a different time. I edit all the footage together into a mini documentary, a half-hour documentary. It gets into like all these film festivals, and Thomas Ian Nicholas actually came to a screening, the guy from American Pie, and like loved it. It was weird. Like it got a lot of attention. We started selling the videos at our high school. All the teachers bought it. Then that's weird. It was weird, really weird time. It got so like popular. Then YouTube came out. Then I put it on YouTube, and then every day it was on YouTube. It got 30,000 views. So then it started getting closer to 1 million, and then NBC started contacting me, and all these people. This NYU professor is like, I want to make this into a feature film. Like all these people were contacting me, including Noel Biederman.
The Ashley Madison guy.
The Ashley Madison guy. Here's where it comes together. And he's like, I want to watermark Ashley Madison on this to promote cheating. Like it's his viral way of marketing.
Because this guy gets caught in your video, and then if you use his website, you can
don't get
avoid
caught.
this embarrassment.
Exactly. So I was like, I don't know. He's like, come in for a meeting. So I come in for a meeting.
And how old are you at this point?
I'm 18 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Where is his office?
I was in Toronto somewhere. I don't know. I'm very bad with directions. I ended up saying no to using the watermark.
You said no to Noel Biederman.
I said no to Noel Biederman.
So after this whole experience that you had with Noel Biederman, who's the guy that created Ashley Madison, yeah. What did you think of him as a person dealing with him?
He was charismatic and like he seemed very nice. Like I have no judgments against him. I'd have an affair with him. Like I don't know. He was good. Like he was good. He was like sleazy like anyone who's kind of successful in that business. And
no judgments. He's sleazy.
Nothing's wrong with that. You gotta sell your business. And he's been on Howard Stern and everything like that. And I'm a huge Howard Stern fan. So I was like, holy shit, this guy's been interviewed in the studio by Howard Stern, and now I'm sitting across from him. So I thought it was really cool to me.
1 degree away from Howard Stern.
Exactly. But yeah, that's my connection to Noel Biederman.
We would like to thank Jamie and Noah from Echosmith for being our guests. We'd like to thank Shane for coming on.
Shane, say hi.
Hello, you're welcome.
You can follow us online at twitter.com/MikeOnMuch. Same thing with Instagram, MikeOnMuch, and much.com/MikeOnMuch is our show page.
All of the artwork you see for the Mike on Much podcast is done by Jenna Gregory.
And if you've been enjoying these episodes, please tell your friends. Word of mouth is important. And also subscribe on iTunes.
Please do that. The Mike on Much podcast is produced by Max Kerman, and I am your host, Mike Bierman. See you next week if we don't die on the weekend.